What is up, everybody? It's Revv time. Today I want to talk about the differences between the D20 and the G20, focusing specifically on the clean. Now we know the G20 is a 2-channel amp, but we're going to focus more on the clean because that's been a major question from a lot of you guys is what are the differences between the clean tones on the two amplifiers? How close are they? How do they respond to pedals? So I'm going to focus on that. I'm not going to do deep dives really in how to dial the G20 and the D20 so much. I might get into it a little bit, but we're going to focus more on just the difference between the clean tones and how they take pedals. And in this case, we'll go through the G series pedals as well. Just once again to let you guys get a feel for the differences between these amps and how they respond to pedals. So let's get right into it. I've got both amplifiers dialed pretty much at noon. I think it looks like I've got the bass bumped a little bit on both amps. The amp you just heard, that clean sound, is the D20. Now what I'm going to do is switch right over to the G20 and let you hear its clean. Back to the D20. G20. Now, to me, the G20 has a little bit less upper mid presence, but it is more sparkly in the highs. It does have a little bit more low end. It feels slightly more immediate to me than the D20 as far as just a little less sag or compression to it. Now, one thing I'm going to do immediately, and I'm going to leave it this way, is I'm going to turn on the wide switch on the G20. Now you can immediately hear it adds more highs and lows, but it also makes the amp sound just a little more pushed. So I'm going to leave it that way, and let's bump back to the D20. G20. So that's quite a bit closer. The G20 is going to break up a little sooner because it's a little more pushed. I'm going to turn down the master just slightly because it does add gain, or I should say volume. Leave everything else alone. I'm going to try and leave the amps as static as possible as we go back and forth. Okay, so we've got an idea what's going on between the two amps. D20, G20. I'm going to balance that out just a little bit. It's not quite as loud. Now I'm changing the level on the DI out. So you're hearing the exact same cabinet on both amps, which is a 4x12 Revv cab with a Royer 121 and 57 combo. So let's go back to the D20 and let's turn on, I'll switch to a back humbucker. Let's turn on the G3 first. The G3 is based on the purple channel of the Generator series amps. Okay, so without changing anything, I've got the treble turned down just a little bit. Maybe I'll go just a little bit less. Yeah, I like it there. Now I'm going to switch right to the G20. D20. G20. This is the G20. D20. So I'm still kind of hearing the same difference really between the two amps clean. Now I'm hearing kind of the same difference really with a pedal in front. Now this is dialed no aggression mode. This one's got maybe a little brighter, a little more upper mid presence, a little bit less low end, but the G20, more low end for sure, a little more top end, maybe a little less mid. Now I can dial the amps to kind of emulate each other, but that's what I'm trying not to do in this case, so you can just hear the differences between the two. Now I can go to the blue mode. We're on the D20. I'll go to the blue mode aggression in the on the pedal. G20. Bunch of low end there. Okay, let's jump over to the, let's try the, we'll go back to the D20. Let's see what the G4 sounds like. Switch to the G20. Same deal now. The G4 is based on the red channel of the generator series amps. I'll go to the blue mode. We're still on the G20 now. Back to the D20. G20. So yeah, there's just a lot more low end there. And of course, this pedal has a lot more low end than you would have heard from the G3, or a different type of low end. It's not as tight. Now I can match the top end a little bit. And keep in mind right now we're still on the G20, so I was just bouncing back and forth really quick. Let's go back to the D20, and I'll turn on the G series pedal, the G2, which is based on the green channel of the generator series amp. So it's going to have the least amount of gain. without changing anything, I'll just switch right to the G20. Almost sounds a little more there's more low end again, but it sounds a little more modern in the G20. We'll go back to the D20 amp. It sounds a little more vintage. And sorry, I'm not like reinventing the guitar wheel here. I'm just trying to go back and forth quickly. Let's do the blue mode now, and then I'll go back and forth. We're still on the D20 amp. G20. Once again, lots more low end there. Go back to the D20. Now, I think in a future video, what I'm going to do is, because the second channel of the G20 is based on the purple channel of the generator amps, and of course the G3 pedal is based on the purple channel of the generator amps. Maybe I'll do a video letting you guys hear how the G3 sounds to the front end of the G20 as compared to the second channel of the G20 on its own. I think that would be kind of a cool video. But this is more to just give you guys a good just reference between these two amplifiers. I personally prefer the D20 just because there's more that I can do with it as a clean pedal platform amplifier, plus the pole boost is very cool on that. So me as more of a rock blues player, I gravitate towards that. It's really to each his own. I would say if you're really pedal platform driven, maybe look at the D20. If you love having channel gain, you know, tube driven channel gain, then take a serious look at the G20. And you can always use pedals in front of the clean channel as well. Now, one thing I will say about the G20 that you can't do, obviously, with the D20 is because the G20 is a two-channel amp, obviously, you've got a clean and a dirty channel. But in that dirty channel or that second channel, you can toggle through those aggression modes via the foot switch. So through like a cabinet, just cranking through a cab, you've really got a clean channel, and then your second channel has those three aggression modes that you can toggle through with the foot switch. Now, to take it a step further, if you wish, if you're running direct, what you can do is start assigning different cabinets, EQs, reverbs, even power amps to each aggression mode within the second channel of the G20. So as far as being able to just switchably go through sounds, I would say the G20 is a little superior because it's just got all that cool tech in it. The D20 is a little more kind of old school pedal platform. So definitely keep that in mind as you're making a decision between the two. I don't want to say you can't go wrong, but really sonically, both amps are going to sound great for you. I almost want to say you can't go wrong. I guess that's why I'm pointing out, well, what else would you like? Because if you like to have a bunch of switchable features within the software and also just via foot switch through the cabinet, maybe think about the G20. But if you're a pedal platform guy like me, I would definitely go D20, but they're both really great amplifiers. And, you know, these G-Series pedals are just ideal because for the guy that doesn't own any Revv amps but wants that Revv sound, that's why these basically appeared. That's why Dan designed them, is he wanted to give people that Revv sound without spending a lot of money to achieve that. Not that Revv amps are overpriced, but they're not inexpensive amplifiers. They're really great sounding amplifiers, and you get what you pay for. So with the G series pedals, it really allows you to get fairly close to that sound, that Revv sound, but with your already existing amplifier. So as always, I really appreciate you guys tuning in to the channel. Please comment below about what you heard, and yeah, we will see you next time.